This is Open Media House, and I'm your regular host on Leadership Conversation. In our previous conversation, we spoke on the reward of leadership delivery. But today, I'm going to take you on a whole new topic, which is balancing leadership and human relationship. I will begin by saying that being a leader does not make one an expert in human relationship, but being an expert in human relationship makes you a leader. Without relationship, leadership is meaningless. Relationship is a lead that determines leadership effectiveness. Therefore, it is leader responsibility to balance their leadership and human relationship. Lack of this knowledge often causes most leaders, the moment they get into leadership position, to disconnect themselves from the people they know, the previous friends, and every other person that is around them. But I want to tell you that as a leader, your relationship with people is very, very vital. That is what will make your leadership effective. Therefore, I'm here today to bring away some few points that a leader must keep to balance his leadership and human relationship. Do this, otherwise, your leadership will not make meaning to you and the people around you. So the first thing that a leader must do to balance his leadership and human relationship, a leader must see himself as a public servant and be humble. That is, being a leader is more like one becoming a servant in a big family. If your desire is to receive noble treatment, rather than you giving people noble treatment, you are not going to be a faithful servant. Likewise, for a leader, if your desire into leadership position is to receive noble treatment, rather than you giving people noble treatment, you cannot balance your leadership and human relationship. So, as a public servant, you should understand that the relationship is much more important. But today in Nigeria, what we are seeing is the opposite. When you see people in leadership position, they rather see themselves as masters to the society and to the citizen, instead of seeing themselves as servants. In Nigeria, we have Civil Service Commission, where we have civil servants. But I can tell you, there is no office you will get to in Nigeria today that you will receive noble treatment from the civil servant that occupy the office. Rather, they expect people to give them noble treatment. One of our former presidents called himself a civil servant. But I want to shock you that your understanding of yourself being a civil servant cannot be proved by you calling yourself a civil servant. It can only be proved or tested and proved by how you respond to people when they started treating you as a servant. Therefore, as a leader, always try to maintain good relationship with the people. Then you can balance your leadership with human relationship. Then number two thing a leader must do, there should be honest and open communication between you and your followers. In Nigeria today, if there is anything we are suffering, it's lack of effective communication between the leaders and the followers. The people in leadership position, they are claiming to represent the people. But the moment they leave the community or their constituency to the federal level or any level of the government they find themselves, they will be totally disconnected from their constituencies and their community, which means there is no more communication. And without communication, there cannot be smooth leadership. It is only communication that can ease the leadership. Through the help of communication, a leader can communicate to the people the challenges and the trouble surrounding his leadership position. Likewise, the people can also understand him in times of disappointment and expectation. This is what communication can do. But the moment there is no honest and open communication, the leader will no longer see the people as his people, and the people will often criticize the leader. So I encourage you from this studio that if you must balance your leadership and human relationship, you have to maintain honest and open communication. Then number 3 things you must do to balance your leadership and human relationship. You must always think of what the people want. Thinking of what people want is what makes you a leader. As a leader, you are not to always think of your selfish desire or your parochial interest. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. Since independence till today, every act that our leaders ever performed was performed because they wanted to. Harry A., in his book, Influencing Human Behavior, said, "To spring up what we fundamentally desire," which is true. But in leadership, there is a need for balance. You need to balance the two. No matter your desire, you should be able to think of what people want. That is what makes you a leader. That is what makes you a leader. When you cannot think of what people want, you will not be able to do what they expected of you. So you have to always think that these people you are representing, they have a desire, they have expectation. There is something that the society have in expectation for you to meet as a leader. So if you are not thinking of them, you will not be able to do what they expected of you. Even I can tell you that Nigeria fought the civil war because somebody wanted something. When the leader is always on the focus of what he wants instead of what the people want, he will ever mislead. And that is why we are telling you from this studio that these 3 things, they are very, very important. So any leader who will be able to balance his or her leadership and human relationship. This is where we will draw the curtain today. So always try to see yourself as a public servant and be humble. Let there be honest and open communication between you and the follower, and then always think of what the people want, and you will become effective leader. Thank you. Before I go, follow Ogbo Media in all our social media handles, and you will not regret it. Thank you.